much. Right, he loves us so much.
Well,
it's good to be back. It is good to be back. As most of you know, I've been out of town all week, and so it's good to be back and see you all. I've been trying to study and get myself together at work, but I did everything I could. And some of you have kept on that. But it's good. We're going to talk life this morning. And I'm hoping you have some life out there. You know, some days I look out here and go, they there. And I do want you to know, this is good. Christ gives us so much life. And God gives us so much life. And so many times we forget that that's where it is. We've decided, the world has told us that there's a set of rules and you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do that. And that's how Christianity is, and that's not the case. And we're still in Proverbs, we're in chapter 4 today, so you can start moving in that direction. And Proverbs, he gives us some do's. He kind of tells us what we need to do. And so we should live life and enjoy life. When you become a Christian, does not mean your life is over. So sometimes I look at people and go, oh, they just gave up. You know, and don't do that. That's not good. We want to have a good time. I know Jesus had a sense of humor. I know that God wants us to enjoy this life. He wants us to have a full life. Wants us to reach out to those. Wants us to see. There's just so many things. But we need to follow His path and follow what He has. And real change is possible. We can have a real life. And chapter 4 in Proverbs kind of tells us some of this. I'm going to read it. Listen, my sons, to a father's instruction. Pay attention and gain understanding. I give you sound learning, so do not forsake my teaching. When I was a boy at my father's house, still tender and an only child of my mother, he taught me and said, lay hold of my words with all your heart. Keep my commands and you will live. Get wisdom. Get understanding. Do not forget my words or swerve from them. Do not forsake wisdom, and she will protect you. Love her, and she will watch over you. Wisdom is supreme. Therefore, get wisdom. Though it costs all you have, get understanding. Esteem her, and she will exalt you. Embrace her, and she will honor you. She will set a garland of grace on your head and present you with a crown of splendor. Listen, my son, accept what I say, and the years of your life will be many. I guide you in the way of wisdom, and lead you along straight paths. When you walk, your steps will not be hampered. When you run, you will not stumble. Hold on to instruction. Do not let it go. Guard it well, for it is your life. Do not set foot on the path of the wicked, or walk in the way of evil men. Avoid it. Do not travel on it. Turn from it and go on your way. For they cannot sleep till they do evil. They are robbed of slumber until they make someone fall. They break the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. The path of the righteous is like the first gleam of dawn, shining even brighter till the full light of day. But the way of the wicked is like deep darkness. They do not know what makes them stumble. My son, pay attention to what I say. Listen closely to my words. Do not let them out of your sight. Keep them within your heart. For they are life to those who find them and health to a man's whole body. Above all else, guard your heart. For it is the wellspring of life. Put away perversity from your mouth. Keep corrupt talk far from your lips. Let your eyes look straight ahead. Fix your gaze directly before you. Make level paths for your feet and take only ways that are firm. Do not swerve to the right or the left. Keep your foot from evil. Solomon is talking to his son and telling him some things that his dad had told him that his dad had told him. So you see, it's kind of being passed down. It's something he learned as a boy. We have to remember that wisdom is the word for God. So it's talking about God. We need God. We need that wisdom and understanding of God. And we also need Him in our lives to take over. He tells him to sell everything Y'all get that? Nothing is more important than God, wisdom. Nothing is more important than that. You've got to put that number one first in your life. To have life, you've got to have that first. And so many times we forget that. We kind of go, well, but I got all this cool stuff, and it's going to make me happy, and it doesn't, and you wonder why. There is nothing more important than Him. Period. That's the end of the statement. That's all you need to know. And he's talking about how his grandfather basically had taught his dad, who he taught, now he's teaching his son. This is called tradition. I had the clip, I couldn't get it. The tradition, you know, the fiddler on the roof. I love that. And I was going to have someone sing it for me. But wake you up? Yeah. Y'all going to get with me. Tradition has become a bad word, I think, sometimes. In worship and in singing, if you look, I was on a retreat this week, and I was looking Wednesday night for someplace to go to church on Wednesday night. And so I'm looking at all these websites of all these different churches, and they have traditional worship, and modern worship, and contemporary worship, and blended worship, and emergent worship, and relational worship, and intergenerational worship. That's another one we do. You know, so I'm looking at all these going, which one do I want? Am I traditional or contemporary or modern? Where am I? And amazingly, it seems like the traditional gets kind of put to the bottom spot. They have the 8:30 service or the early service, where everybody's still sleeping in the contemporary or the modern worship is in the 11 o'clock or the 11:30 or 10:30 or 10. The times are all over the place anymore, too, if you've noticed. I mean, nobody knows what time to go to church on Sundays anymore because it's all these different times, and you don't know. And they meet at all these. But what I'm saying is we've made tradition kind of a bad thing, and it's not. Part of the trouble that our country is in is we as parents have decided that, our children can learn this stuff on their own, and then I want them to follow their own path. I don't want to give them a certain way of belief, and I don't want to because then I don't want them to do that, and that's bad. And so I just will let them learn their own way. They're afraid of brainwashing their children or something, maybe. And I forgot to go grab it. So listen to me now. Listen to me closely. Look into my eyes. Listen to me closely. Watch what I say. You're getting sleepy. You're getting heavy. Jesus Christ is the only way to live. He is your only salvation. He's the only way to go to heaven. You got that? Get that. Let's catch on. I'm going to brainwash you now. Because if that's brainwashing, we're going to do that if we can avoid our children going to hell and go to eternity with heaven with us.
That's right.
And we better start deciding that it's important enough to let them know.
That's right.
We have decided, well, they can learn. Folks, that doesn't work that way. They have got to see it from you. Most of their learning is still by what you do. If you don't believe that, watch some of the words that fly out of your own mouth and some of the habits you have and some of the things you do, and you go, oh, my dad did that, or my mom did that, or I can't believe I said that. All of us do it. Why? Because our parents had an influence on us and taught us those things and handed it down generation to generation tradition. And folks, our salvation, our who we are, about our relationship with God is all about tradition. We pass it down generation to generation. They're not going to learn it at school. It's not the school's job to teach it.
Amen.
And we've got to understand that. Sometimes I think we feel, oh, well, why don't the school teach them their religion? But that's not their job. Our job is to teach it. My job is to teach it. It's time we caught up and decided tradition isn't such a bad thing. They say there's some roughly 60 generations since Christ came. If a generation is about 33 years, they say it's been about 60 generations. About 12 generations into it, there was a man by the name of Augustine who came into the picture. He taught that God made us for himself, and our hearts are restless until we find rest in him. Augustine found that rest. About 32 generations in, there was a man by the name of Anselm. He taught that not until we find Christ can we truly know how heavy sin really is. He discovered how heavy it was and was relieved from that burden of sin. About 45 generations in, Martin Luther came along. Martin Luther taught that God treats bad people like good people through his finished work of Christ on the cross received by faith. Think about that again. Christ treats bad people like good people. In other words, he loves everyone. Because most of us are bad people. And he treats us all like a good person. Martin Luther found that faith in Christ. He entered into that grace. 53 generations in, Jonathan Edwards taught that Christianity is a miracle, and God awakens dead hearts with new affection for Christ. In other words, God wakes up our dead hearts so that we'll have new affections for Him. And Jonathan Edwards got that miracle. Many of you have heard the teachings of Billy Graham, about 58 to 59 generations into this. He taught that Christ is our only hope in a lost world. We all know Him. We know Him as one of the great evangelists. He still is writing and teaching, and He's 97 years old. You see, that is generation after generation after generation teaching us that Christ is the way. There are answers to this, and we all grow deeper in our relationship with Him if we will only follow Him. All that wisdom and understanding, no matter what cost. That is what's so important. We are told to have great life. You've got to be young and thin and tanned and strong and rich. As Dr. Phil would say, how's that working for you? You know, all these people from our heritage of faith came in all shapes and sizes, and they have found life in Christ, and it's so important to them. That's where they've gotten their fulfillment. I look around this room, we're all shapes and sizes. And guess what? Christ has made a difference in all of our lives. How we look and what our bank account looks like and what we look like and how virile we are, tanned or whatever, doesn't really matter. Now, most of us like to look at those kind of people maybe. But the deal is, we have got to understand that Christ is what makes the difference in our life. And we start putting our emphasis there, we will find a difference. We will find all of a sudden He can do so many things for us. We have 2,000 years of people in all walks of life that have shown us and taught us this. The next part of this talks about a journey. I love to travel. I like to go to places and do things, and it's really interesting to me, and many of you like the same thing. But we're all on a journey. We move and go in different directions and different things. All these things are important. In our lives, we have certain traditions that we do and certain things we do, but we also are traveling this journey. And sometimes it takes us in different directions, doesn't it? Sometimes the path is smooth and things go, yeah, it's good, we're doing all right. And there's some days when you don't think you can get up out of bed. That's the way our lives are. We don't know from week to week which way to go. And we're caught up in this. But the key is that we've got to keep on moving. Which way do we want to go? Are we going to take the journey that leads to evil, as it was saying, that leads down the wrong path? Or are we going to take the one that leads to righteousness? We have a choice. And sometimes we choose wrong. And when we get on the wrong path, do we turn around and go back? If you're a guy, you don't ask for directions, you just try to figure it out. Right? That's me. If you get on the wrong path, you better be finding out what's wrong on the wrong path. I need to get back on the right one. And sometimes we have to, what is it called? Repent, turn around, go the other way, and say, okay, now I'll try this way. We better, on this journey, keep traveling in the direction that God leads us. He wants to give us hope and confidence and expectancy. But we've got to start small and feed it. You know, many of us, we say, we're hungry, or we're not really hungry, but we still eat. I don't know if any of y'all do that. I do that. Especially sitting watching TV or a ball game or something. I'm not really hungry, but I got to eat something. So we're feeding ourselves when we're not even hungry. Thus, I look like this. We need to be feeding our spiritual souls because it is hungry and thirsty. And we've got to continuously feed it and continuously let it know that we are following and trying to keep on the right path. The key is we've got to keep at it. You can't quit. And unfortunately, we're in a throwaway society these days, aren't we? If it's broken, you just throw it away and get a new one. We do that with everything. I mean, yeah, if it's a really expensive item, sometimes you'll get it fixed, but if it breaks down that second time, it's history. You ask anybody being cars that way, you know? If it breaks down, leaves me on the side of the road, it's history. That's not, sometimes you don't even have to break down, it's history. You know? Exactly. But we're in a throwaway society. Unfortunately, we've moved that from things to people. We do the same thing with people. Well, they treat me right, so get out of here. We do the same thing with our religion, with our relationship. With God didn't answer just the way I like to hear it. I didn't want to hear it that way. God didn't answer. So he must not be right. I'll go somewhere else. And so all these crazy religions pop up all over the place, don't they? And then why is it? Because we as a society decided, well, if we don't like the way they do it this way and I'm tired of it, I'll just go somewhere else. I'm not getting fed down at that church. I'm going somewhere else. I'm not getting. You don't think I hear that? Of course we hear it. Because that's the society we live in. We are in a throwaway society. And we let it go from just stuff which didn't really matter to all of a sudden things that matter eternally. And there are many people out there floundering around out in this world because they can't figure out where they're supposed to be. They can't figure out that Christ is their answer because they gave up on it because I don't want to work at it. Like anything else, folks, you put in it, you get out of it what you put in it. Church is that way. Your relationship with God is that way. If you're not feeding that relationship with God, you're not going to grow. I promise you. It don't work. And it's time for us to say, you know, I'm not feeling it, but I got to keep working this direction because I know it's right. Why do I know it's right? Because it's been handed down to me, tradition, generation to generation to generation. You think about your grandparents, your great-grandparents, and their strength in their faith. Think about it. Man, I tell you what I think about my grandparents. Their faith was seriously strong. They didn't have nothing. They didn't get a bathroom inside the house till 1980. And I'm telling you, I didn't like it. Going there, the outhouse out the back, you know. No shower. Taking a bath out of a bucket, you know. Was no fun. But I tell you what, we sure enough went to church. We sure enough had prayer and Bible study. We sure enough knew that God provided what we did have. Amen. And that's exactly how they felt. They passed that legacy down to me. And I needed to pass it down to my children. And we all need to do the same thing. And grandparents, if you think your job's done because you're a grandparent, sorry, Charlie.
Amen.
Because, folks, grandparents are huge in a person's faith development. If you don't believe it, think back in your own life. We've got to understand that we've got to continuously feed that, or we're going to go down that wrong road. Because all of us are going to go down the wrong road at some point. We're going to hit the wrong way. And when we do, we better find a way back to the right one. That's our job, is to find the way to the right road. We've got to keep laser focused. See what I mean? Keep those eyes straight ahead, straight on. Don't go looking to the right, to the left. You can't do that. Why? Because easily distracted, folks. That's why I won't go away for a retreat, because I'm easily distracted. It's easy to get me off task, just that easy. And I've got to be very careful. I've got to keep laser focused on Christ and who He is, or I'm never going to make it. I want to read out of the Message, the last few verses. Dear friend, listen to my words well. Tune your ears to my voice. Keep my message in plain view at all times. Concentrate. Learn it by heart. Those who discover these words live, really live. Body and soul, they're bursting with health. Keep vigilant. Watch over your heart. That's where life starts. Don't talk out of both sides of your mouth. Avoid careless banter, white lies, and gossip. Keep your eyes straight ahead. Ignore all the sideshow distractions. Watch your step, and the road will stretch out smooth before you. Look neither right or left. Leave evil in the dust. You want a full life? Follow those words. Put the evil stuff out of the way. Focus where you're headed. And you'll go that direction. Will it always be smooth? And will everything go perfect? No. When it doesn't go perfect, you've got to get on your knees that much longer. You don't believe me? Talk to some of these saints that have been through it. I'm telling you, it's going to get rough. There are going to be times you can't figure out how to make this next step. All of you. I don't care what your age is. I don't care what you're doing in your life. You're all going to come to a point where you don't know which way to go and what step to take next. But if you'll keep laser focused, we know about lasers these days. They do everything. They level things, they cut things, they do all kinds of things. Why? Because it's an intense focus in a certain place. They can pinpoint anything. And we better pinpoint our focus on Christ and let Him lead us. Or we're never going to get to that straight and narrow path that we've got to follow for Christ. We're never going to get there. And folks, doggone it, being a Christian's fun. It's exciting life. It really is. It is not the end. It is the beginning. We've got to learn that and show that to the people in this world. Because a lot of folks outside these doors think, oh, it's over when you become a Christian. Then you just got to go back and sit and be all pious and be all grumpy. If that's what it's about, I wouldn't want it either. And we know that. We know it's exciting. It's real life. We have more to look forward to. We don't have all this stuff hanging over us. Life is awesome. That is what this world needs. It's up to us to tell. It's up to us to keep focused on Him. And let Him give us that abundant, beautiful, glorious life. Let's pray. Lord, we thank You for Your presence. We thank You for life. How exciting it is and how wonderful it is. Lord, I thank You for Your presence in this place today. You are so good to us. Help us, Lord, to keep focused on You. Put all our concentration on You. Because You are worthy, and You are what gives us life. Thank You for Your presence today.